Good morning, students. Today we'll be studying the second chapter, the end of bipolarity of the book, The Contemporary World. During the Cold War era, the whole world was divided into two blocks, the US bloc and the USSR bloc. In this chapter, we'll be studying how this bipolarity of the world ended. The socialist revolutions in Russia in 1970 actually gave birth to USSR, and the main inspiration of USSR was socialism. This USSR was based on following principles. First one was it issued a minimum standard of living for all its citizens. It provided that the government will subsidize basic necessities, and the productive assets were owned and controlled by the state. But Russia was the only republic among 15 other republics who dominated everything. People from other regions felt neglected and they were often suppressed by Russia. Soviet Union even lagged behind in technology, infrastructure in comparison to the West, and they even could not fulfill the political aspirations of the people. The USSR became very bureaucratic, authoritarian, and this made life of the citizens very difficult. There was lack of democracy, there was no freedom of speech. People often expressed their dissent in jokes and cartoons because they were not allowed to speak against the government. In Soviet Union there was one party system, and that party was the Communist Party. The Communist Party controlled all the institutions of Soviet Union, and this party was not even accountable to the people. Soviet Union invasion of Afghanistan in 1979 also weakened the system of the Soviet Union more. Mikhail Gorbachev, the General Secretary of Communist Party of Soviet Union, in 1985 established some policies of economic and political reforms to democratize the system, but these policies were opposed by the leaders within the Communist Party and the people having contradictory view. These reforms were very necessary for USSR to keep it in pace with the information and technological revolutions that were taking place in the West. However, this decision of Gorbachev to normalize the relations with the West and and reform the Soviet Union had some other effects that neither he nor anyone else would have thought about. Now, what were the effects of the reforms and the decisions taken by Gorbachev are? The people of Republic had been fed up of the old system of the Soviet bloc, and in December 1991, under the leadership of Boris Yeltsin, an elected leader, Russia, Ukraine, Plastic declared themselves as independent countries. The formation of Commonwealth of Independent States CIS came as a surprise, and the exclusion of these states was resolved by making them the founder members of CIS. Russia was accepted as the successor state of Soviet Union, and it inherited a Soviet Union seat in UN Security Council. Russia accepted all international treaties and commitments of Soviet Union, and it even carried out some nuclear disarmament measures with the US. Now the Soviet Union was disintegrated, and it was disintegrated on the grounds to maintain nuclear and military arsenals, awareness of the people of their backwardness, then the Western capitalism, alienation of ordinary people who were exempted from any kind of privileges during the USSR, the rise of nationalism and the desire for sovereignty within republics like Russia, Estonia, Latvia, Ukraine, Georgia, and others proved to be the most immediate cause for disintegration of USSR. The disintegration of USSR resulted in the end of the Cold War. It created dominant capitalist system. Many new states emerged, and this advantage was taken by Central Asian countries because of their geographical locations by maintaining good relations with Russia, the West, US, China, and other countries. The process of transition from an authoritarian socialist system to a democratic capitalist system in Russia, Central Asia, and East Europe was influenced by the World Bank and IMF, and this came to be known as the shock theory. The shock theory involved following things. First one was privatization of the property, then emergence of private firms, then there was complete switch over to free trade and foreign direct investment were even allowed. There was breakup of existing trade alliances among the countries of the Soviet bloc to maintain relations directly with the West. Now, what are the consequences of the shock therapy? The first consequence was that the Russian currency, ruble, devaluated due to inflation, and food was imported. The old social welfare system was destroyed. A lot of educated and intellectual people migrated from Russia. Due to privatization, there was a gap between the rich and the poor in some regions of Russia. So these were the consequences of the shock therapy. Now next one is the constitution of these newly democratic countries were drafted in a hurry. These countries had weak parliament and there was lack of independent judiciary in Russia, Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan. Due to all these, the strong executives appointed themselves as president. Because of all these things, Russia lagged behind. But the revival of Russia occurred in 2000 due to the export of natural resources that were present in Russia like oil, natural gas and minerals. These were in abundance in Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan and Russia, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and from where these pipelines crossed were paid on rent. Most of the former Soviet republics even had civil wars in their countries. Civil war took place between Azerbaijan and Georgia. Czechoslovakia was split into two parts. Even countries and provinces like Ukraine and Georgia are fighting over river water, leading to instability and making life difficult for ordinary people. The Central Asian republics of USSR were rich in hydrocarbon resources. For economic benefits, oil companies and outside powers had a competition to exploit these natural resources. Even US approached them to hire bases in territories during the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Russia and India has some shared vision. These shared visions are related to multipolar world order, collective security, greater regionalism, negotiated settlement of international conflicts, one independent foreign policy, and decision making through UN. Now, how India benefited from Russia on certain issues. India benefited from Russia on energy supplies, sharing information on international terrorism, and access to Central Asia and balancing its relation with China. Even Russia has also benefited from India on the ground that India is the second largest arms market for Russia. So, this is all that we have to study in this chapter. Thank you.